Good morning. I just wanted to hop on here for a real quick and I'm going to be doing my makeup while we talk because I like to multitask there. But if you're tuning in and you're seeing this part, you're probably watching the replay. So just go ahead and put hashtag replay down there in the comments and let me know when you're watching it. I like to see when people are able to tune in and see how things are going. I wanted to come on this morning while I get ready because I feel like a lot of people that I've talked with lately have just been struggling, but they're not sure how to keep on. And I thought if one person's going through it, or if I'm going through it, then somebody else probably is going through it as well. And I wanted just to kind of encourage some people today, if that's all right with you guys. So, I'm just going to get started. Y'all look at this. This is a brand new color I got in. Well, it's my regular color, but it's a brand new refill. It makes me feel like Christmas whenever I'm using a new one. I just got it for free though, so you know, that's even better. So when I come in, I'm doing my whole face this morning, and it's going to be going to give us a little bit more time together instead of just doing just the hack like I normally do. But I feel like that would probably be fine this morning. I know with the storm and everything going on here, at least in my area, there's been normal day-to-day things that just have seemed overwhelming, and I figured somebody probably needs a little bit of help with getting things taken care of. Let me just tag a few people and share this out. I hope everybody's doing okay this morning. I do appreciate you guys joining. Thank you guys for allowing me time to do that. So, I was just reading this morning. You know how you get up in the morning and you kind of have to wake up a little bit, and so my cell phone. Hey, Candace, my cell phone is like my alarm clock. So it's literally just a few feet away from me, and so I grab it and just to kind of wake up and start getting ready for the day. I always just kind of scroll through Facebook a little bit and see what else is going on, and I just noticed a lot of people they're surrounded by negativity. Good morning, sweet lady. And I'm not saying that you should never post negative stuff on social media by any stretch. I do think sometimes people post way too much of their business on social media, and nobody wants to read all that. But I just noticed that there's people struggling, and you know, a lot of us will struggle, and if you're like me, you're going to struggle for a little bit. You're going to handle it as much as you can, and then all of a sudden you're going to get to a breaking point, and you know, you just break. And no matter how that manifests, whether it's because by just, you know, having a temper tantrum fit, or acting the crazy woman, or you know, yelling at Hey Jennifer, yelling at family, or however it's going to manifest, you know, you get to the point where you just break and you can't handle it anymore. And I can tell you, I have been there. You can get through those little breaks, but sometimes it gets to the point that it's kind of beyond that, where you feel like, oh, this isn't just a break. I seriously can't handle the thought of having to get up to go to work, of having to face yet another day with the people that I live with, or having to face the mess that's going on in my community with, you know, violence or something like that. Or maybe something's actually happened to you and your family, and you're having to navigate those waters and not sure how you're going to get through, because maybe you got some pretty big life-changing news. Maybe, you know, there's all kinds of things that we can be affected by, that we are affected by. And I feel like when we're at the point where we just start focusing so much on that stuff, we forget the most important thing. Well, to me, it's one of the most important things that helps me. Hey, Sam. That helps me to get through times like that. Because, y'all, I'm going to be real. I may be a pastor's wife, and I may have a pretty awesome extended family. For the most part, love my job and all that. But there are times that I have to psych myself out just to get out of bed, you know. There are times I have to remind myself that there's a reason why I work. You know, there are people depending on me. I have to get there. And it just because you go through times like that does not mean that you're less of a person or less of a woman. It doesn't mean that you're a horrible mom. It doesn't mean that you can't handle the things that are going on that you're having to face. What it means is you're normal. We're all going to go through times where you know, we just don't have that peace. We just don't have the I guess the gumption just to get up and go. So the question is, what do you do when that happens? That is a good question. Everybody wants to know that. I'm just going to let that stew for a minute. If you guys are joining, hey y'all, if you guys are joining, what do you normally do? Whether it's, if you're joining now live or if you're joining in the replay, just type a comment. What do you normally do just to get out of the doldrums, the blues? My husband and I call them we call it we're in a blue funk, where we just, you know, we can't explain it. We just can't handle something right now, and we need to just kind of be alone in ourselves, you know, and just handle it. But the question is, what do you do? There was a time when I thought the only way I could handle that was to run. Like, I'd get in the car and just drive and drive and drive and drive. And that works, you know, for like 5 minutes. And then you get to the point where you realize, wait a minute, I have life waiting on me. You know, there's things that I have to get done that I can't do if I remain in this car driving. I will never forget when we were living in Savannah. We were there for 10 years, and it's kind of home to us because we were there for so long. But there was a time when I just couldn't handle something, and Jerry and I got into a fuss, and I just got in the car, and hey Candace, I just got in the car. I know, girl, I think a lot of us women are that way. But I got in the car and I just drove and drove and drove. And I happened to be driving on 95. Well, I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and the next thing I know, I look up and I'm saying, welcome to South Carolina. Now, if you've been to Savannah, South Carolina is literally spitting distance from Savannah. It's not that far, but for whatever reason, when I saw that I was about to enter another state in my driving, trying to cope, I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing? You know, it just, I don't know why, but that just stuck with me. That instead of facing whatever it was I was needing to face, I don't even remember what it was now, that I was just driving, and then before I knew it, I found myself in another state. I had probably, literally, y'all, I had probably only been driving about 20 to 30 minutes because of where we lived in the Savannah area. But that was just like a wake-up call for me, and I realized, you know, running is not the way. Even though I knew I was coming back, that's not the way to handle it. Not the most constructive way that you can handle it. Jennifer says, number one, she prays. She loves her music. She reminds herself that she's truly blessed with her babies and husband, so I go find them and get myself surrounded by them and their hugs. That is a great thing to do. That is a great thing to do. I have to say, sometimes you don't feel like going around them. Sometimes I don't feel like going around. And you call your mama and daddy. Yes, girl, I get that. I have learned, I'm like Jennifer, I love music, and I tend to fall back to one of my favorite verses in the Bible is, or favorite passages in the Bible is Ephesians 6. No, I'm not so biblically scholar that I had that memorized. I had to look it up before I got on here. See, I'm normal just like everybody else. But Ephesians 6 talks about putting on the whole armor of God. The thing is, the part that I like most is the part where it talks about that, you're not fighting just flesh and blood. What you're doing, you're fighting the principalities of the air and all this other stuff. It sounds mystical, right? But what it is there's things going on around us that we have no idea about. And just because we're upset with this person in front of us doesn't mean that that person is what's causing us to be upset. Yeah, they may have acted out, but there's something else that they're fighting with that's causing them to act out. And so what you're disagreeing with or you're fighting against isn't that person. It's whatever it is they're dealing with, right? And that's really hard for a lot of people to remember. But I go, hey, Kissy, but I go to that whenever I feel like I can't just keep going, because it's the next verse is absolutely my favorite verse, and it talks about how you need to put on the whole armor of God, and having done all to stand therefore. I've talked about this before with you guys if you follow my page or my group, but having done all to stand, you stand therefore. That is a huge thing for me, because sometimes we get to the point that we're just standing and we're just doing everything that we can know just to stand, just to keep from falling under the water, just to keep from having our head underneath, just to keep breathing. We're doing everything that we can. But then the Bible goes and tells us, well, keep doing it. Stand therefore. You've done everything you know to do. Just stand. I'm going to put some stuff on my lips because I feel like you can't see my lips here. This is the same color I put on my cheeks, just to keep it simple. So we just keep standing, and because that's what the Lord tells us to do. He hold on just a second. I've learned it's best not to talk when I do that. But he sees that we're standing, and then he tells us, well, keep standing. You're doing a good job. Keep standing. Keep doing what you're doing. And I think that is what most women, most moms need to kind of hold on to, is because, I may not be the best mom. I may not be the best wife. And I certainly am not the best housekeeper. I'm telling you right now. But what I do, the Lord says, just keep on doing it. If you're worried about you not being perfect, or you not being enough to handle what the Lord's sending your way, or what your boss is sending your way, or what you're having to deal with your kids or your parents, if you're worried that you can't handle that, God just says, keep doing it. Let me handle it. You keep doing what you know to do, and let me handle the rest. And that is absolutely the thing that holds me. That is what keeps me sane. I'm telling y'all. Most days, because if I were to look at everything that's going on and get my eyes on all of the bills and all of the grades from that, my son is a pretty good student, so don't get the wrong idea, but I get worried when I see grades start dropping. So if I continue to focus on that, if I focus on what people are saying rather than what I know, if I focus on the financial situations, or family members' dramas, or things like that, if I focus on that, then what I'm doing is giving the power to the situation for my joy and my happiness, instead of just standing and being there and living my life the way I know I need to, and being there for the people that I love, and letting God handle it. Because how many times have you guys tried to handle something because you're so worried about it? We got to get this done. We got to get this done. If I don't do it, nobody's going to do it. Or sometimes if I don't do it, somebody else will do it wrong. Do you guys do that? Yes. Amen. So how many times do we do that and then realize the whole time God had it the whole time? We didn't have to go in there and try to meddle and try to fix things or anything like that. What we had to do was just stand and let God handle it, because that's what He does. The Bible says we not to worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow has its own evils, its own troubles. We just stand in today. We do what we know to do today and let God handle the rest. Right? Yes, I see y'all are like, that was me. Totally. I get it. It's just good to have reminders that when you go through that, you're not the only one going through it. I'm telling you, I think every single woman goes through this. at some point in their life. And if you're like me, it's at several points in a week. You know, I don't know about you, but I don't feel like my life is not perfect, and I don't have it all figured out. But what I do have figured out is that God's a lot bigger and a lot smarter and a lot stronger than me. And when I can't handle stuff, I lean on Him and I let Him handle it. And then there are people that, you face things and you're like, well, now wait a minute, I've tried to let God handle it, and when He did, this happened or that happened. Well, girl, just keep doing it. Just keep going. Don't give up now. Hey, Kelly, don't give up now. We know that we need to do what we need to do. Having done all to stand, we stand therefore. So you do what you need to do and just keep doing it. Don't give up. Sometimes we think the end is a lot closer than it is, and it's not. Sometimes God has a whole lot more in store for you, and if you give up now, you'll never see what He has for you. You will never see what He has for your family member that's struggling. If you give up now, you'll never see the way that He's going to use you later to touch people that you had no idea you were going to be able to touch. Can't give up. Having done all to stand, they stand therefore. That's just my little preaching moment this morning from my devotional. Kelly, how'd y'all do in y'all's race yesterday? It was yesterday, right? Y'all went to, was it Tifton? I can't remember. That's one thing Kelly has had to learn, is when she's running her triathlons and 5Ks, she gets to a point where she doesn't feel like going on, but she does it. She has to finish, right? Yes, God's greater than the ups and downs. Absolutely. Kelly was in Cordeal. So Kelly doesn't give up in her races. I'm sure there are times when she feels like it, but she, with her 5Ks and her triathlons, she has determined in herself she has to finish no matter what, and that's what she does. Okay, this, you guys are going to think this is strange, but this is dry shampoo, and I've been using it lately after I use my Stay Spray just to kind of set it even better. You don't want to talk when you're doing that either. And the reason I do that is because of me being oily. If you're not oily, you don't need to put all that stuff on your face. You just put, if you're not oily, especially if you're dry, you put your foundation on and your setting spray. Don't worry about all the powder. But I am an oily girl and I like to have it more matte. So that's what I do. So you guys feel free to share this with anyone. If you think somebody is going through a time that they need to have some encouragement, that they don't need to give up, send it to them. I think us women helping each other is probably what gets most of us through whatever it is we're going through, because let's be real, sometimes when you're going through really dark times, then when you're going through really dark times, you don't want to hear, oh, but God's with you, honey, right? Am I the only one that, I figure that I have a pretty close relationship with the Lord, but there are times in my human fleshy self where I let myself think, I don't want to hear that God is with me. I don't want to hear that God has this under control. I want to hear what is happening, what is going to happen, so that I know that I can rest easier. I want to know what's going on, right? Because we're all up in our feels there. Some of us don't like surprises. And we feel like we have to know everything. But y'all, we have to get to the point where we're okay with the fact that I may not know what's going to happen. I may not know how this is going to play out. I may not know if this person's going to be okay. But I know that whatever happens, whatever this person goes through and decides, God's going to be with me and God's going to be with them. And that's all I need to know. That's all I can focus on right now. Just focus on the fact that I'm not alone, that He's not going to leave or forsake me, that He promised He would take care of me just like He takes care of the sparrows, Sometimes we just have to shift our focus, right? That's all we need. Kelly says, has already helped us through 100% of our hard days. That's right. He hasn't failed you yet. So don't think that He will. I just have to put some eyeliner on. This is like the most boring part, I'm sure, of doing this. I've been using a pencil eyeliner again instead of the shadows. This is the part where I will do it and I feel like I can't talk while I'm doing this part of my makeup. That's weird. I'll figure out what's going on with Patricia's in a bit. Generally, you could just share it to your timeline, I think, and maybe just tag her in it if you wanted to help her. We are definitely praying for her, though. We miss her for sure. And that smile. Some people have that smile that, like, when they smile, you have to smile with them no matter what you're going through. Y'all, isn't that amazing what a little eyeliner does? Okay, I know you guys are probably, if you're watching what I'm doing with my makeup, y'all are probably thinking, she is all over the place. Well, yes, I am, for real. But I do things in such a way that, like, when I spray my Stay Spray, it takes a minute to dry. So then I'll go ahead and start my eyes, and then I'll go back and do my my dry shampoo on my face, which I know is weird, but it works, and it doesn't clog my pores, so who knew? And this mascara that I'm using is L'Oreal's Lash Paradise, just because I love it. I feel like this tube is drying out a little quicker than most other of my tubes. So I don't know if that's just because this tube is weird or if they're changing something about it. But I still like the way it looks on my eyes, so we're going to deal with it. Kelly says, I always try to channel you when I do my girl. Well, thank you, I think. So instead of like, what would Jesus do? It's what would Tabby do with the makeup, right? Okay. So this is pretty much all we got. I will use a little bit of Rose Gold Illuminator. Y'all know I don't usually use Illuminator, but since my colors have changed a bit, I think this Rose Gold looks pretty good. I just put it right there. So y'all know I'm an oily girl. I don't like shine at all because I've had to deal with oil all my life. But I'm okay with illuminators because it's a control issue. Then I can be, you know, glimmery where I want to be and not where my face thinks it needs to be. A little bit under my brow bones. Alright, girls, how about we go to church? So, just remember, no matter what you're going through, this is not the end. You can totally make it through. What you do is you do everything you know to do. When you think you've reached the end, you keep doing it and let God handle it. When you do what you know to do, everything else is going to fall into place. You don't have to worry about if this person's not picking up their slack, or if that person is going to be talking about you behind your back. You know what? They're going to do what they're going to do regardless of what you do. So you do you, and let God handle the rest. That's all you can do. Don't get stressed out. Don't let all the mess that we have to come in contact with in this world weigh you down to the point where it starts stealing your joy, and it distracts you to the point you can't enjoy where you are right now. Because you know what? Where you are right now may not be the best place for you. It's just simple truth. You may not be completely enjoying where you are in your life. But the fact of the matter is, if you would shift your focus a little bit, you could find something to be thankful for. You could find something that'll give you a little bit of joy in this darkness right now. You could find something, if you'll look hard enough, that'll be your outlet so that you could focus on that and let the Lord work behind the scenes while you're doing that. So, all right, Candace is so ready for the word. Girl, you absolutely know. What did you tell me about distractions? Yep, you can't be distracted. You can't be distracted. It's like, I call it at church a lot, I'll tell you that you can't be distracted by the side shows. You know, when you go to the circus, and the main event is going to be the circus, right, in the big tent, and that's where you're going. But all along the fairway to the main event, you have all these side shows going on. You can go and see the bearded lady if you want to. You can go and throw a ball at a bunch of milk bottles and try to win a teddy bear that probably costs $1. You can go and try to win a goldfish over there. And you have all these people that are shouting at you, hey, come spend your money over here, and all this, because they're wanting to distract you from the whole reason that you're there. And that's what we do in life. We're on a mission. We have a purpose. We are driven to a certain destiny in our life. And if we allow ourselves to get distracted by all those side shows, you might reach your destination. You might just, but you're going to be delayed. You're going to be distracted by the time you get there. Because you're distracted, all of the joy and all of the gumption that you have, your drive, is going to be drained by the time you get to where you need to go. So, thank you for bringing that up, Candace. Don't get distracted by the side shows. Just keep going. Just keep going. You know what? Stop and smell the roses when you need to. For sure. We have to de-stress. But when you know to do what you know to do, just do it. Just keep going. All right. So I'm about to go to church. I'm helping to lead worship today. We're missing a couple of people today. So I'm excited to see what the Lord's going to do tonight or this morning. I hope we get to see y'all at the Bridge Church of God. We'll be online if you're not able to get here in person. Kelly Mullins, you've had enough time to get dressed and I can see you at church. Okay. Love you. Bye.